Hey, here we are for the Curator Weekly Call for May 18th. And we've been having quite an uptick in quality of contributions last week. I've just finished looking at the content highlights and really looking good. Few notes from the product side, from management side is we really been appreciating the contributions in the last weeks, and most of the contributions have been mostly research and data sets for different types of topics. And that's really been helping us to fill in the knowledge graph with good data. So that's looking good. A bit of a shift in focus where we'll be focusing some of our bounties on and general curator participation and engagement is for more timely content as opposed to just like a research on already existing concepts, data sets, etc. So some of the highest leverage participation, I would say, is news content. So let me maybe share the screen real quick and show a bit more what we mean there. So as we know, we have the GeoNews app, which shows the news that exist actually on Geo. So we have the latest news on Geo right here. And if we would go to any of the space, we would see the specific news stories for that space, right? And here we have the news app, but it's the same data. And the big feature that we have is the timelines. So for example, in the featured timelines, we have Elon Musk versus OpenAI right here. And for here, like it's quite an extensive timeline. We have it all of the way from 2015, tech leaders launch OpenAI. In 2018, Musk departed OpenAI board after leadership dispute with Sam Altman. OpenAI shift to capped profit model, 2019. 2022, OpenAI releases ChatGPT. OpenAI fires Sam Altman as CEO. Elon Musk sues OpenAI. Elon Musk files injunction. Elon Musk-led consortium submits $97.4 billion bid for OpenAI. OpenAI rejects Elon Musk takeover. So there's like a full timeline of events as it develops, including the news stories from way back. Each news story, when we click on it, it has a summary and some claims that are organized in some practical ways here as well, and all sources from which this specific news story was done. So this is the type of news that, like a great example of news that we're doing. And for any space, we have timelines. You know, for health, obviously, the hantavirus outbreak is huge. So being able to follow what's happening there is great. For crypto space, we have Clarity Act news. So it's one of the feature timelines here. So a bunch of these types of topics for which we can be capturing news. So if any curators have a topic that they care about, that they're interested in, and if they would like to create content for that, such as this, we would absolutely empower you and enable you to do that. We're actually working on some tools that we would be able to onboard you to work with soon, and to automate a little bit of the publishing process. But being able to keep track of the contents you care about and help others keep track of that's a high leverage participation. Also organizing the content around the news as well. So for example, if the news story, right, is, if we take an example here, let's say the Elon Musk versus OpenAI as it's a great news story, right? It's something that we want to be tracking. However, on Geo, it's also a topic. So it's something that the curator can also own and organize a more static organization around this topic, like not just a news story, not just news, but overall information about it. Like facts, what is exactly the lawsuit for, like what are the asks, requests, like maybe precedents, any like relevant information about that. So that's another way to participate in content creation that's timely. It's not just creating news, but it's organizing information that's relevant to the news, right? So in the same way, if we take a look at the health space right here, hantavirus outbreak. So organizing news around that is great as well. Hantavirus outbreak is also a very relevant topic on Geo. So for us, organizing information around here, like just like some action for like, it would be interesting to compare the hantavirus maybe with like COVID and flu and see like what are the similarities and the differences, stuff like that. So we'll be giving some updates later today on the bounties and how to browse and sign up for bounties, but sort of that type of participation in the maintaining what's relevant on Geo is very much welcome. So that's a little bit on the overall sort of content priorities there. And let's take a look at the highlights that we have of content from the curators from the last week. So in the health space, we have a few more protocols. We have heat exposure protocols. As people who are in the health space should know, that sauna is one of the healthiest things that you can do to your body. And just the decrease in mortality is crazy, of all causes, especially heart related. That's like ability to, or like having access to that sauna is like a crazy leverage for having a really healthy lifestyle. So here we have some organization of that. Hot water immersion, like that's, I would say, is controversial a little bit, but okay. Finnish sauna, steam room. So some information about the temperatures recommended or like maximum duration, methods of doing it. So some info about each. Steam room bathing, humidity air environment. Yeah, some like things that describe the methods here. So some good data set here, and red light therapy protocols. Used red near red exposure. Yeah, so look good for the skin health, acne reduction, muscle recovery, joint pain relief. Another big and useful data set for the and some information for contradiction. So like some things to look out for. Difficulty, evidence, level of evidence, frequency. So yeah, so some good data here. So for the health space continues to grow. Let's take a look at the crypto space. So in the crypto space, we have crypto books. So this is, I would say, this is like a really good topic to have for any space. Books is like a great way to organize some knowledge, and good books still are some of the best sources of knowledge. So we have here a curated list of widely referenced books organized by question the book answers. So how money works, right here. Cryptographic foundations, applied cryptography, digital cash, inventing Bitcoin, ownership and governance. This is good. So yeah, like for each of the book. Also, we see the books are organized by some genres. We have an author, published date, publisher, and key topics. Yeah, so that's great. Like browsing topics and knowing what are the best books for each topic is great. So that's just like a way to set it up. So appreciate this contribution right here. We have the tokenized real world assets. So we have a created list of sector defining RWA protocols organized by the asset class each protocol tokenizes. On-chain treasuries, private credit protocols, tokenized real estate, tokenized securities. A solid data set. For each, we have Discord, docs, funding rounds, has protocol category, LinkedIn. Yeah, so a bunch of data for each. Yeah, so really looking good here. And we have for all of these, some good links, good data. So looking good in the crypto space and crypto news events. So this actually does play a little bit into the content priorities we mentioned. News events. So what happened for different aspects of the crypto ecosystem and industry development, regulation and enforcement. And we have these in order, as we can see. So we can see how the things evolve. And the last one is GeoNews X stablecoin reserve rules publish or comment. Yeah, looking good here. Institutional adoption and different things that happen for each with the date and the topics. Stablecoins development as they were developing. So looking good there. So crypto space looking good in its growth. AI space. So for there we have 3 highlights. One right here is the harness agent, a big new thing in AI for those who follow know. And we have some claims organized here about origin and development, autonomous agent capabilities. What can it do? So some practical information here and features. Sandbox code runs, plugin extensions, auto API rotation, text-to-speech output. So a bunch of things it can do. We have a bunch. And some properties here. List of features, the docs, developers. As for any AI tool that we're capturing, this is looking good. That's also is a really high leverage participation on Geo for curators as well. When something is trending because it's important, if we're able to set up not just the news, but the actual entity page and organize some relevant information about that, that's always very much so appreciated. We also have repositories for that. All right, here. Okay, that's practical. Looking good here. Digital antiquity. So that was a big bounty and been worked on for a while by Lavan, one of our curators. So we have AI is transforming how researchers engage with the ancient world, making it possible to read and destroy texts, and how AI is being used to help with that. So we have research challenges hosted by which universities, places they're documented in, like actual researchers, organized by topics, breakthrough year with a description, the lab that's been working on it, quotes for that, location, the actual discoveries. Yeah, this is like a big bounty. Techniques applied, who was funding it? Yeah, so a lot of like actual data for all of these different aspects. Maya Cities discovery, Dead Sea Scroll reconstruction. Yeah, so this is great. And additionally, we have a great bonus here that the app has its own website here. And that's, of course, is that the big aspect of how Geo works, is that we can build dashboards and apps on top of the data that is on Geo, and we have it right here, Geo logo, nice touch, Lavan. And we can browse the same data here, but in through here, on links to actual the correct entity pages on Geo, which is that's looking great. And we can here browse the people, the papers, the sponsors as separate entities. Yeah, this looks splendid. Like a really good looking thing. I have a tab for a bounty. The bounty itself is described here. And relations. Okay, this is crazy. Yeah, this is absolutely great. So the relations between the entities are shown visually here. Tools, view on Geo. We'll need to take a look at a few links there, but the Levan will be able to present this full work maybe the next week when he'll be available to do so. Definitely worth a full presentation. This looks absolutely beautiful here as an app and as a data set. So looking really great here. And AI projects. So here we have top 50 companies or projects in AI industry organized in some practical categories. AI labs and model developers right here, hardware and cloud infrastructure, coding and AI agents, data and enterprise platforms, search, creative, AI. Let's take a look at one of them. Yeah, and companies have a bunch of data. So we have their Discord, their Docs, GitHub, LinkedIn, products offered, which is really good. So we have actual full-on product services, team members, topics to organize them, use cases for that they're exactly used for. Yeah, this is also a really good. All of these spaces are really starting to shape up. This looks really good. I feel like the last few weeks have been kind of a shift in there's been a lot of content contributions throughout the weeks of the Curator program. Feels like things are coming really together. Quick highlights as well for the World Affairs. This is one of the newer spaces. And here we have for the highlights, current leaders organized. So global leaders right here. So current leaders, and we have a specific organization that they're leading. And the historical leaders as well. Yeah, so that's looking good. Let's take a look at one of the leaders right here. Yeah, and we have the employment. So the organization they're leading, the role, the website and X account, which is great. And major international organizations. So this covers the major international intergovernmental organizations that shape the rules, norms, and responses governing relations between states. Okay, cool. So collective security entities, we have North Atlantic Treaty Organization and African Union, United Nations, humanitarian assistance, International Money Fund, World Trade Organization, World Bank, Trade and Finance, standards and norms. Okay, that's cool. So let's take a look at United Nations right here. Led by, headquarters, founders, founded by. Okay, this is looking great. So a bunch of data, topics to organize them by headquarters, where they're founded, founded by what? Oh, and so actually another cool thing. So for each organization, we can see by which treaty they were established. So Charter of the United Nations here, and that has a list of everyone who signed them, effective date, depositories, web URL to read it, and that is there for every organization. So yeah, looking good. Okay, so some of these highlights from the last week, looking really good. Thanks for the curators, for the contributions, and the editors for helping to oversee the project and presentation of these. Okay, so thank you. And maybe going forward, we can have Preston to do an update on the product updates.
Absolutely. So I showed last week the property groups and the onboarding cards. So both of those got merged in. So you can start using those now. I put a little video in the Discord showing how to use the property groups. So if you have any issues with that, let me know. We are working on updating some bug fixes in the data blocks space that Levin pointed out, and a few other quality of life bug fixes there. So keep your eyes out for those. I will ping in the Discord when those are done. Um, then I quickly want to show 1 second. Um, Here we go. All right, I quickly want to show the power. So we've been working on this AI assistant down here. So if you click down here, you'll see a bunch of options. The AI assistant's good at a lot of things. It can inform you about geotech, but it can actually write edits now. So you could do something like create a data block with the top uh, horror films of this year on the current entity. Uh, and it can actually go through and create that data block for you, which is pretty powerful. It can also do web fetch now. So if you had like a link with some content you wanted to pull into Geo, you can actually have it query that website, pull that data in, and create the relevant entities. We're going to be working on making that specific web fetch feature a bit more consistent with some system prompts that can help with that. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of show the power here. So this is going to take a couple minutes to set up, but it'll actually write the edits in your space and create the data block as well as the additional entities for these horror films. So for the sake of time, I won't wait for it to fully complete there. But if you guys uh, feel like that would be useful for you, start playing around with it. And any and all feedback on the AI assistant, how it can be more helpful, is valuable on our end so that we can continue making it better. So, as always, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ping in Discord. And that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. And the AI assistant actually is crazy. Like, there are not many products right now out there that can create with an interactive dashboard tables with relations. So I would say that's like actually like a huge feature to have. Like Notion is one where you can do that. But here actually the entities that you can use is the ones from the public spaces. So it's verified knowledge directly organized by the community, and you're able to use the agent to work with the tables there. So that's actually like I would say like takes like a good spot in the agentic AI space. There we go.
Super cool, and probably worthy of a bigger announcement on our side. I mean, we've been hard at work working on this assistant, and it's starting to really shape up.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, so you can see it's starting to work here. So it's going through, and it said it put the top 7 horror films. And the thing to note is like I could come through here and then be like, hey, actually, can you add descriptions and like the IMDb links and things like that? And it would go, do its best to kind of fill those things in. So it can really help with building out not only just structuring things, but also like enhancing some of the entities with additional data.
Let's go. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So great update there. Thanks, Preston. And then we can give an update on the bounties and curator engagement for the villa.
Hi, everyone. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Davile. I'm working on curator engagement with Adam. And something that I wanted to highlight this week is our well-known and beloved Curator app. So one way of contributing to the wonderful data sets and apps that were shown is via the bounties. And Curator app is a place where you can actually find what bounties we have open at the moment. And I want to teach you guys to do it so you can find those at any time. So when you guys sync or log on to this app, you are automatically landed on this page with a list of
There real quick, I think you should enable the screen share.
Oh, is it not showing? Unfortunate. How about now?
There we go. Yep.
Okay, so as I said, you're automatically landed on a list of bounties that are unallocated to other curators, meaning no one is working on them. However, this list does not represent where the bounty is in its life cycle. And a life cycle is basically what represents where a bounty is from start to the end. So if we want to find bounty lifecycle stages, we can click on this all workflow statuses box, and there's a drop-down list with a list of different things. So backlog means that a bounty is being prepared. So basically a draft. To do stands for a bounty open for work, basically what we would be interested in this case. And progress is for when bounties are being prepared and are no longer open for applications. In review is where editors are preparing reviews and bounty evaluations. Done is basically when bounty is successfully closed. And cancel stands for situations where we need to cancel a bounty for one reason or another. So in this case, if I want to find bounties that are open, I click the to-do status and choose any allocation. On top of that, if I am, for example, interested in bounties in AI space, I can also filter by space. And here I have a list of all bounties open for work, regardless of how many curators are allocated to these bounties. So for example, if I'm interested in AI tools for image generation, I click on this bounty and I see that Catalin is the maintainer. So he's basically the main contact for me to reach out to see what is the direction that I could contribute to this specific bounty. What I also see is my peer curators who are also working on this bounty, meaning people that I can work with to brainstorm ontology, see how we can empower each other's data, how can we help each other, and things like that. So basically, this is how you can find open bounties at any time at your convenience. Hope this helps.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, this is great. So please continue browsing. If you'll find a good bounty that you think you can contribute, show interest. Also, importantly, if there is not a bounty there that you think should be there, so if you're in that space, let's say if you're in AI space, if you're in a health space, we assume that that means you're interested in this topic, right? Like you actually understand health if you're in AI space. If you actually understand health, if you're in the health space, you understand AI if you're in the AI space. So if you're seeing that, okay, like there is some very important data that we actually should have there, right? But we don't have a bounty for it, just drop a message on Discord in the channel for that space. Let us know, and we'll happily review that and create the bounty. So it's not about just like there's more than one way to participate, and helping us decide what are the content priorities. It's another way to participate there. So please stay engaged in that as well. Okay, so thank you for the update there. Thanks. Okay, and Adam, maybe you can give us some updates on the challenges.
Hey everyone. So great work so far. As we've seen in the contributions that Arturas highlighted, just wanted to share a few details on my end as well. So first of all, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. I just wanted to also share something that is kind of changing. If you're on geobrowser.root or .io/root, so kind of the homepage of Geo, you'll see that the sidebar now also allows you to navigate to the Geo Curator app. So it opens in a new tab. So if you're ever basically on Geo, you'll now be able to access all the bounties just by navigating the sidebar. And when you're on the Curator app, you also have now a link to the actual Geo browser. So it should be /root, but the actual kind of different links. So this is a way that we're kind of trying to connect things a bit together so that your experience as a curator is easier. But wanted to go back to the challenges. So last week we created a bounty actually for people to participate in our weekly challenge, and the theme was UFO releases. We had a few people kind of continuing to post around the Elon Musk versus OpenAI trial, which was really nice to see. But we'd love for you guys to also kind of participate and contribute to this topic. We think it's a super interesting topic that will potentially interest a lot of people, the wider audience. So we'd love to be able to share your work. If you want to do this, we're going to keep this theme this week, just to give more people a bit of a chance to participate. And you'll be able to find the bounty either by typing UFO, or I'll post the link in the chat again so that you guys can participate. If you're interested in registering, we only had one person who was Sufyan that registered interest. If you're interested in registering to this bounty to kind of contribute, please do so. As mentioned, you can contribute either on the UFO releases kind of topic that was created within the World Affairs space, or directly on your personal space, if you prefer to do that. Would encourage you to actually try the AI assistant that was kind of shown by Arturas. As you can see, you can just go down here, for example.
By Preston.
By Preston. Demo some, drop some links, drop some information. It can help you structure some information, and that could be really nice for you guys to try. So I'll drop the links, both of this topic as well as the bounty. I'll put it in the recap email, but also put it in the chat if you guys are interested. Would love to have you guys contribute. And yeah, call out to some of the curators that made some cool posts last week. Tertrage, and then Youngest. We thought you guys had some nice posts, and yeah, would love to see kind of some content shared around this topic. And yeah, remember to tag at Geo Protocol, and we'll automatically review all the posts and give people that have published good content some points.
Okay, thank you. These weekly challenges, I think, keep things interesting and fun, and also we'll make sure to reward the best contributors there. Okay, thanks. And then we have an ontology proposal by Armando. So ontology, as we know, is one of the main things of the knowledge graph. It's how we actually present the data and the way that we can relate it to other data points. So there's so many ways to do the ontology on the knowledge graph, and many ways that are correct but are different. And we are evolving and we are building as we go. There's going to be changes and improvements in ontology all of the time. So for here specifically, Armando has worked on a person type ontology, which is one of the core entity types in Geo for sure. So Armando, you can show us what you've been up to there.
Thank you. So hello everybody. Last week we spoke about the people app and the person type to align with it. I've worked on some proposals, as Arturas was telling you, on the person type. Basically, I collect the feedback from the last week meeting, and what is not showing? Amazing. 5 demo. Just a second. Okay, we are done. So I was telling you, I collect the feedback from last week call, where we mention that the depreciation from the work at and worked at property, which are redundant with the employment type. We are we propose adding more social link, which is a good solution now that we can group property. And we propose to extend the to entity type for the published property, which was only targeting post type, to book, paper, and article. Okay, here you can see how it look on a table. I am experimenting with the grouping of entity. You can see you have a different kind of group for the like to structure a bit the property and to imagine how it will look on Geo. You can see the property inside the relation entities, in this case for education, for employment. And finally, you can see a relation mode. Okay, we also have the current state. I didn't apply this change yet, so you can see the current state of the property on the app now. And you can have some stat also about how the person type is distributed through the space. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, as I was telling you, it's so far what we pretty much agreed during these weekly calls. On top of it, I work on some proposal to fix some issue and in the UI and for some improvements. Some bugs we can quickly fix, as one Twitter handle, display for tweets, as as one social preview. We need to align with entity type extension. For published, we need to rename a tab from post to writing. Adding timestamp to tweet would be cool. We could also improve podcast, how we display the podcast episode, which is a bit like non-aesthetic right now. And I just figured out that we need soon to add a search bar to this application to be able to search for the different people. And on top of this, I also start working because it's about ontology. I also start working like on mapping all the main type from root space into Obsidian, which is a cool way to quickly iterate with type and property. I am killing the API or using the MCP, so to collect all the types, the property. I can quickly do change, I can quickly set proposal, and I can quickly share them, publishing them on this publishing. Okay. So in this case, not all the type are mapped, but the main one. And I am trying to tackle some situation, some issue. For example, we have the country type, which is a type from root space, but which is using the place space. Nevertheless, we start having an issue with this type because from country geographic entity, it's becoming a sovereign actor. We can see that in World Affair, you will have in USA, like with signatory for treaties, with an actor of a conflict, with so there is a short analysis and showing the different issue, what is the impact, and I'm starting to try to propose some solution for it. So I'm working on several time at the same time. We also have categorization issue between tags, topics, categories. We mentioned last week between editors. So this week, I think one of the priority will be to find some kind of agreement or we categorize our entity. Mainly, we are trying to remove from everywhere all the mention to type which are not type. For example, when you have a property as type or the is type, we are trying to change them for category or something because we want to keep type as the main categorization standard for an entity as we chose when we set the type. So I am very well open for all your feedback on this ontology work. For example, last week an organization type was added. I think we maybe can add some, we can extend a bit the schema with some property we could discuss. We also need agreement on location, as we saw this morning with one data set, for example, headquarters for organization, where Curator was citing both the country and the city of the headquarters, when, for example, the convention should be to only use the city. This kind of improvements we need to better communicate through ontology and to be able to also to better welcome the next creators.
Okay. And by the way, a really cool setup with the Obsidian. Real quick. So here we can see the data that's actually on Geo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this in real time, or you just do an import manually to update the state?
No, it's not in real time. I periodically update. I know, like I follow up the ontology on Geo, so I know which type I need to. This week I knew
Okay. Yeah.
this one was the big update, so I'm trying to keep it.
And it's helpful for you to use the Obsidian for that.
It's like in a first stage, like in a basic practice, it's much more efficient than Notion. It's much it gives you much more like amplitude for change. It's much faster to work with Claude directly on publishing there.
Yeah, because it's simple markdown, right? So it kind of helps with that.
And it's directly you are working directly on Claude. Like you give your comment to Claude. Like I want to change this. I want to put this on top. I want this color. I want to relate this. I have this ID, and he's doing his work for you.
Yeah. By the way, props for setting this up. Like I think this is a first, like a big demo of geodata with Obsidian. So like props for that. Like this looking really cool. Obsidian was always like a power users, like a knowledge power users app. It was like for many years, and usually like people who really want to organize like a lot of nodes and like to really go all out into that, it was Rome Research and Obsidian. And Obsidian, I'd say, was kind of superior to the Rome Research, was better than that. So it was the best tool around if you really wanted to do like this like knowledge graphy like organization of a lot of content. But most people, at least from my experience, who were using it, like they were using it because they had to, because it was the best for that, but it was still painful. And so it was like love-hate relationship between like the power users of Obsidian with it. And after Andrew Karpathy like did like a good post on using it for LLMs, then I feel like it was like a renaissance for the Obsidian, and it's sort of entering into a full-on mainstream mode at this point. So yeah.
What I understand is whenever a proposal, for example, the one for person is approved, I ask Rod and or even the AI assistant to publish it, and it's an MD file, so it will be done in 5 minutes. That's
Okay. Yeah.
the beauty of the MD, and like I kind of appreciate the visualization features. Like you can see how the type like all this relation, all this edge are for how the type relation to entity type. So for example, you will have law, it will have a tags property pointing to tag. You will have a regions property pointing to regions, etc., etc. So it's kind of easy
Looking great. Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so looking good. So yeah, like thanks for the ontology proposal. So let's continue working on that, but also just for the way that you proposed it, like extra, that's just extra on top, like really nice, like to be able to see that through the Obsidian. So yeah, like actually we'll have soon, like we're working with Adam, who's doing like a write-up to help people integrate codecs when working with the geodata. Maybe that could also be a topic, like integrate Obsidian with your geo workflows, and you could maybe like share what you learned throughout building that there as well.
It comes from a feedback I received from a curator who was trying to publish post and he's writing on Geo, he's writing his post on Obsidian. And we made the experiment to publish it on the blog. We had issues, so I started giving feedback to Preston to see how we could integrate the direct publishing on blog. And it gave me the bug to experiment to look, and it look like it's cool for ontology.
Nice. Okay, Armando, thanks. Yeah, so that's like one impressive demo here. Okay, so we have 10 more minutes, and so we have Kevin and Dini on the call who've been working on the pharma space, which is a really interesting project because now it's a multiple curators who met on Geo building up a space together. So this is something that we want to encourage. The pharma space looks like it's really starting to look pretty good there. Kevin, could you give us a bit of an update on how the project is going?
Yes, I definitely can do that here. So let me share my screen real quick here. All right. Okay, let me actually make this full. All right, so I also use dark mode Arturas, so that's probably going to annoy some people, but those bright screens, man, they hurt my eyes. So this is the pharma space. So I wanted to kind of start here under drugs. It takes a while to load, so I kind of preloaded it to give you an idea of this agent that everybody's worked on is amazing. I've been using, I mean, I'm not a dev, but I've been using different tools and different models for a couple of years now, and this thing does stuff that I just really neat how it can publish ops. One of the things I had it do was just testing out. I said, hey, find everything that ends with UMAB or IMAB. Those were all monoclonal antibodies. Pull it together and make a data block. And it did it. Another thing that it was able to do was in creating the initial knowledge graph here, there's a lot of, I don't know if you would call them back relations or whatever it would be. Everything's connected, but it could be enriched with further relations. And so if a brand named ingredient relation's missing, I've been able to ask the agent to fill in those gaps. I've had a little issue here, kind of deleting tables and messing with things. So it's kind of in a test mode right now, but that's been really powerful. I think the one thing I'd say it does struggle with, which I think is probably understandable, is bulk. So if I ask it to query 2,600 ingredients for missing links, it's like, how about we calm down and start with 10? And it does it really well, but I've been using the SDK for bulk query, and I think it works really well. The more it can do, the better it's going to be, the more powerful it's going to be. I've only had a couple days messing with it. So yeah, if you haven't used that yet, I would definitely check it out. It really has helped maybe unlock some of the tables and some of the things that might take a little bit more time.
And Kevin, are you speaking about the AI assistant agent?
That is correct. Yeah.
This little thing in the bottom right. Yeah. Cool.
So I've been testing that and kind of asking it questions, like just seeing what it can do. And Preston was talking about how it'll actually publish ops, and you can see it doing it. I'll ask it to build some relations, and it's doing the right thing for the most part. And it allows you to publish the ops. It allows you to like take them and edit them. Basically, it makes a lot of the things a lot easier. And one of the things it does is help me group things too, which was kind of a struggle. My daughter's crying back there, but I think she's going to be okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Elena, you're okay, baby. You're okay. Sorry, I have the baby today. So one of the other things I'll quickly go through here is I worked on the last week formatting names and formalizing them. One of the things that RxNorm doesn't do a good job of is feeding it in. It's kind of like a standardized form. They give you all these entities in, but it kind of reads weird. So like the brand name would be at the end. Sometimes the package size is at the end. It's very inconsistent. It looked kind of sloppy on Geo. So we created a bulk script that kind of allows us to pull those brand names forward now. So I was able to run that on all the branded entities and generic entities and kind of formalize some standardized ways these read out. Some of these haven't been fixed yet, so you can kind of see how they come over. It's weird. And it makes for sloppiness and like it's harder to query. So I worked hard on kind of getting these all formatted so that they read correctly. So under drugs is where we're kind of starting to group together things, and you can kind of get an idea of how we might do that. But we can pull out monoclonal antibodies and then link all of the drugs related to that. We can group things by beta blockers, whatever that may be. Huge opportunity here to start grouping stuff together. This is kind of to give you an overview of what's in this space right now. You should be able to come in here into the pharma space and find any US drug product now that's active on the market, any drug product code that's on the market. It all should be in there now, any ingredients. If you're not able to find it, that's a gap in what we've uploaded. But right now we have about 260,000 entities and 20,000 products and 2,600 active chemicals. So we've started by kind of mapping that out. These are the data set sources that we've been using. Another thing that we populated down here is just useful links. So these are the things that we've used to kind of create some of these data sets. There are places that I would go to kind of start researching certain bounties. So we have a lot of helpful links here that can kind of help you get started if you're a new curator or a new pharmacist coming into the space. We're looking this week to kind of update this with some bounty ideas too. Dana did a good job in the health space of kind of building out bounty ideas, and we're going to try to emulate that here with some help from folks. Do this real quick because my daughter's going to need me in a second here. One of the things we did to kind of highlight what we can do with this large data set is take the top 100 drugs that we were able to pull from a 2023 National Institutes of Medicine study. I think it might have actually been CMS. It gives us a useful way to drill down on what will be important, I think, early on for pharmacists. So there's 2,600 ingredients. I don't think they all deserve the same look. I think we want to take the top 300. Those are high impact. That's like 90% of the prescribing in the world is happening with these drugs, and use that maybe as our scope when we're building things. So right now we have the top 100 built out, but there's an opportunity to use the AI assistant, or somebody can come along here and kind of scale that out. Just to show you what another thing that we accomplished this week, we actually took a lot of the work that Dini had been working on was in a separate space initially in the health space. He was working on an entity type drug, and that had a lot of the actual like granular drug detail, like indications, drug-drug interactions, ATC codes, these rich things that probably belonged on drug. I had started building out in my space ingredient, which is an RX norm specific code, probably not the best semantically. So over the weekend, we were able actually I wrote a script to bulk merge everything that could merge that had the same value type. And we were able to successfully do that here. So much of the top 300 now has our properties merged, and it's going to be all of my product information here that I had uploaded, with a lot of the work that Dini has done here on just adding therapeutic areas that you can kind of click through on. Some of these he's actually done a lot of work to like build out the actual entities too. And then from a product standpoint, the thing I really kind of want to highlight on this call real quick is the power of this from a product and pricing database is, I think this is going to be really cool. So this is just US based now, but we can drill through on the product and we'll get all of the relevant product codes now. Atorvastatin 20 is generic. It's been on the market for a while, so there's a lot of product codes, but we should be able to click one level further down, and then we're given the actual, this is a link to all product information specific to this product. So everything's kind of, actually, probably click it here. So we're not keeping all of this on Geo right now, this long form content, but we're linked off to all of it, and it is specific to that exact NDC. So we've got some precision here that's going to be really useful, I think. The last thing I wanted to kind of show here, what I'm working on, is taking these NDCs and actually hanging pricing from them, US pricing. So I broke everything in the last like 24 hours trying to rebuild stuff. So I try to spin it up real quick, but there's some stuff missing. This is ultimately what it looks like though. NADEC is a CMS weekly reported number. It's fresh pricing data. So they actually reach out for cash pricing. It's like a survey that they update weekly. CMS gives you their average acquisition cost cash wise, and then they list it. This is kind of a relatively new thing. It's pretty powerful. And it's something that can be refreshed. So I hang that unit price from the actual specific code, and then we're able to kind of query geo. So hang with me here because this is pretty rough and ready, but this is ultimately what it's going to be able to do. So I'm trying to pull together cash pricing US data sets, and I have two right now. Another one is cost plus drugs. This is Mark Cuban's pharmacy, and they have an open formulary. They're very transparent about their pricing. This was all working and was working really well before I broke it. So here's the picture to show that. But ultimately, it's going to pull together drug information. It's going to pull together unit cost for specific drugs. And a user would be able to come in here and query by drug and then query by specific product. They'll get the official package insert that would come with that drug and all of the product pricing here. So that's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to unlock here with these codes to show you where that's going to go. And what I actually think is going to be the cool part about this is it's going to go, hopefully, we're working on making it cross-border now. So when you go on the internet and just peruse cross-border mapping, crosswalk files, these aren't things that exist really. So just mapping from US products to Canadian products is not something that has been done really. From US to Mexican products to EU products, these are all the same, a lot of crossover, but nobody's linked any of it together. And I can already kind of see how that would be really powerful here. So the week ahead, what I've personally tried to work on here is standardizing the Canadian drugs with the US drugs and pull in the Canadian pricing. So in addition to being able to see Canadian pricing now, in addition to US pricing here, we're going to be able to map between products. So maybe you're not available or aware of what a dosage form would be in Canada, right? Or the US or vice versa. It also will enable us to use different languages too, and kind of give drug information and drug pricing info in various languages and in various prices. The Mexican peso, the Canadian dollar, et cetera, all that's kind of available. And that ultimately with these codes is what we're trying to unlock right now. So again, what's ahead? I think we can kind of do a lot to strengthen that first page there. Any pharmacists that want to contribute, there's a lot of shells, if you will. If you look here, like we have every product available, but there's a lot of granular detail even here that could be filled out for all of these. Right now, we just have the product codes because those are the most powerful thing, I think. But there's a lot of opportunity just to kind of backfill detail too. To just shout out again, though, to Dini and what he's been working on. He's kind of at the ingredient level right now, which we're kind of calling the root item. And he's starting to backfill all the rich data relevant to like the high level drug. And that's pulling together a lot of cross-border data sets too. So we might not have apps running on top of this at the moment that could like demo exactly what it's going to do, but we're on our way to something pretty cool here. And again, I think the power might be having somebody like Dini who's and me, I'm from the US, bringing in other pharmacists from other areas or anybody interested in health, making this accessible across border is going to be, I think, pretty powerful in and of itself. So, yep, that would be the update.
Wow, this is crazy.
Amazing work to you both. Yeah. Just had a quick question, Kevin, and thanks, Dini, as well for all the work you've put in. Do you think that when we're looking just at like US drug pricing, there's something that people will be able to use Geo or one of the apps that will be built on this data to kind of check how much they're paying currently for their medication and to have a bit more, understanding of the like true cost of their drug or of like a better pricing that they could get going to another pharmacy or something? Because I know the way that drugs are priced in the US is so different to the way they're priced in Europe. Just wondering kind of how people could be empowered by using a platform like Geo.
Kevin? Like, oh yeah, I think we lost Kevin.
A dramatic exit.
Uh,
I'm here.
Hey,
Can I answer that question real quick? Everything froze
yep.
on my computer. Yeah, I think I can't remember the gentleman that was talking about hospital pricing in the health space all week. I thought they had a really good call out where they're thinking down to the patient level. If the patient gets the wrong price or some wrong info or something looks weird here, it's going to take away some of the weight of the data set. So I do think we want to be careful kind of with like exactness, but we're so far away from that. I already can see how it's unlocking some things that are going to be really cool insight wise. Nobody's really drilled down on Canada and drilled down on the US at the same time, at least in my area of expertise or in my career. I haven't seen that. I'm already seeing differences and they're curious, maybe differences in manufacturers, differences in laws. I think the lay public would tell you drugs are so much cheaper in Canada. Are they? Well, I'm not totally sure. The supply chains there are a lot different. So I do think it is going to be something that could be used as a decision support, hopefully at the end, but just to get a roundabout idea of what your drug costs are. Yeah, in the US, we have tools like that right now. Not sure how approachable they are everywhere else. It's not going to give you the insurance price, Adam, but it will give you hopefully a clearer and clearer picture of what the cash price is. And I think that's where we're headed. We're headed to hopefully towards a more transparent cost plus model. And we can kind of help, even like listing the cost plus data set on our space there is kind of like advertisement for something that's really cool. They're doing something that nobody else in the US is doing right now, which is just buying drugs and tell you what they're paying for them and then marking them up 15%. Like that just doesn't happen. So the more we can kind of elevate things like that and show people what the real cost of stuff is versus what insurance is getting billed. The last thing I'll say on that, there's a huge gap between what insurances get billed and what the cash price is in the US. I'd love to also add to the dashboard usual and customary because that's what that insurance price is. And that's eye-opening because you start to see where some of the waste is in the healthcare system. There's a lot of ways we can take it to answer your question.
Okay. Yeah, so we're getting ready to shake up the industries here at Geo with Kevin at the forefront. Okay, yeah. So that was one impressive demo, by the way, Kevin. That's like a true power user. So yeah, hats off to Kevin and to Dini for like crazy work with. You guys are really going deep into it, and like anyone can go as deep with the knowledge in any space. Like Kevin and Dini happen to work on pharma. Like all of the spaces can look like that, and like just really excited and like thankful to see Kevin and Dini. You guys are like really raising the bar. So this is like really looking good there. Okay, thank you. Okay, so great weekly sync, and I think I'm reviewing the content highlights before the weekly calls every week to get ready, so the data to show like what we are making every week. I feel like this week specifically, like kind of felt like everything really is getting fully consolidated, and we've been adding knowledge for many weeks now, for months now, like to Geo through the Curator program, and now like it's really feels like the understanding of what is the most important information through all of those data sets is being understood across all spaces. And we're creating some really good highlights where we can see exactly the most important things well organized. And we can see power users starting to really go deep into it, where we have a bunch of apps, a bunch of dashboards. Things are really starting to look very serious here. Like I feel like we're entering into this new stage of the power using of Geo and power participating by the curator. So really, really great stage. I think it's exciting stuff, and still we're still just kind of getting started. So yes, thank you everyone. Great call, and see you throughout the week during the community calls and on Discord. See you around.